Hey guys, it's Pi with a mechanics only guide to get you ready for the first 2 Abyssal dungeons. This guide is really meant as a refresher or a quick alternative to full guides, so if you need more details about battle items and individual attacks, let me know in the comments and I'll add a longer version of these quick guides. This first fight is super straightforward. The boss has an array of AoE attacks, so watch out for these, they can do a lot of damage. Something to take note is that he is actually invincible for the first few seconds, so either wait until you're sure he can take damage or until you see the ring under him disappear. Another thing with this boss is the one attack where he'll target a player and after a short delay the AoE will come down. If you get targeted, be sure to move to the edge of the battle space or away from your team, as you can limit the space available without taking damage. The final boss of this Abyssal is actually really easy. He's going to spit out some attacks and AoE, so do your best to not get hit. Once you get him to 5 bars of health, he will phase into the first mechanic that you're going to encounter. A bunch of yellow orbs will spawn around the outside of the battle space and the boss will start teleporting onto players. One player will have to bait the boss into teleporting and hitting one of these orbs with his spin attack and it will trigger its explosion, so make sure to be out of the AoE when this happens. Generally, this will go a lot faster if all players stand on the same orb, but it can be done with only one player doing it. It'll just take longer. Once you do this 4 times, the boss will be stunned, and this is when you can deal lots of damage. After this, you should be able to kill the boss fairly easily, and congrats, the first Abyssal is done. Now onto the second dungeon. This first boss is going to be quite a bit different than the first one from the last dungeon, in that he actually does have a white mechanic. As you fight this boss, eventually he's going to flash and start giving players a debuff that stack. Upon reaching 5 stacks, this will cause the boss to wipe the entire party. What you have to do is collect the orbs in order to ensure no one gets left with 5 stacks. The best way I've found is to go by party order, so please keep an eye on your teammates when this is happening so you don't miss someone getting their orb or take someone else's by mistake. If someone dies before the fight gets to this point, or dies during it, don't worry, just make sure that none of the remaining players get 5 stacks of his debuff. So just continue in the order of remaining players. Aside from this, the fight has nothing special, so do your best to dodge and deal damage when you can. This last boss, in my opinion, is easier than the previous one. What you'll want to do is have party members pick a location on the compass, so north, east, south, or west before the fight starts. As you begin the fight, it'll be a normal encounter, so dodge attacks, deal damage, etc. But once you deplete his health bar, he will have a flash of color on the ground. Now in the 4 locations we picked earlier, 2 orbs will spawn. Each player has to go over and select the correct color orb that coincides with the flash of color the boss had. But if you have good callouts and pick positions beforehand, it should be no problem. And that's really just the mechanics of these first 2 Abyssal dungeons. Also, real quick, before I go, I wanted to show this feature I use for callouts in game called text macros. You can set these to different phrases or words before raids or dungeons, so you can simply use a hotkey to input messages. I use mine for sight focus, but you could set a macro for each color of the final boss for an easy way to tell your team what orb to take. If this video helped you out, I hope you'll consider dropping a like or subscribe to the channel for more Lost Ark content. I also want to let you know that I stream almost every day on Twitch at twitch.tv/pytato with tips, fails, builds, and many alt character grinds. So you can catch me live there gathering content for these videos. Thank you very much for watching, take care, and peace out.